It's Friday and you know what time it is. Premier League prediction, boys and girls. Game week 15. We're getting very, very close to the halfway through the season. And listen, the leaderboard has changed drastically. Why am I third, fam? How did I go from first to third in literally like this? How did Shuaib, who was 15 points behind us, who's now tied on the same points as me? Insane. And that's what happens most of these game week. It changes like this. And before we get to the first game, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure you comment your own thoughts. I love the fact, by the way, that you guys are very involved in this, by the way, and you guys are showing love to this series. So like, subscribe, and comment your own thoughts. And let's go straight into the first game, which is, for me, the biggest game of the game week. Arsenal at the moment, first place. Aston Villa, third place. Only 6 points behind Arsenal. So not too far away. They are not too far away. And a win today can change the Premier League season completely. Like, bro, Villa, I've got no idea how the hell they are in this place. And Arsenal, of course, being Arsenal, after all the talk about that Chelsea game, they won very comfortably against Brentford at home, despite the fact that key players was missing. Of course, the injury of Mosquera means that he's not going to play today's game. Saliba, I don't think it's healthy to play that game. And of course, no Gabriel, which means they have to make some changes. The likes of Ben White, who played very well against Brentford, maybe starting again. Timber might be moved from a right back to a centre back, partnering up with Hincapi, I believe, and then Calafiori on the left-hand side. But the return of Saka, of course, the return of Eze into the starting 11, and Victor is now fully healthy to start as well, even though Mikel Moreno has been playing incredible as well. I don't know, man. Listen, Villa, they've won the last 5 from 6. They had a very, very big win away from home to Brighton, coming back from 2-0 down. This is a big win. This is a big game, bro. Big game. The 12:30 kickoff does give you an upset vibe, you know what I mean? But I don't think so, man. That's the reason why I used my double points. I do think if this was any other team, I would predict Aston Villa to win. But because it's Arsenal, and Arsenal this season have showcased that they are consistent, they are reliable, even if push comes to shove, like there's a lot of pressure on them, a lot of injuries, they'll still come out with 3 points. The game against Newcastle being one of them. Like, so many games where you expect them to draw points away from home, they don't do it. And this is going to be one of those games which a lot of people will have Arsenal dropping points. I don't think they will. I just don't think they will. I think Arsenal this season have showcased very good consistency, and I think they'll maintain. Hence the reason why I went with 2-0, Hassi went with 3-1, Shuaib went with 1-0, and Hussein is predicting an Aston Villa win. Then we've got Bournemouth versus Chelsea, and Chelsea are weird. Chelsea are so weird. After all the talks, after all the hype, after all the chat about what happened against Arsenal, the fact that they dominate Arsenal with 10 players, and that they're part of the title race, and that no one should forget about them, and no one should disrespect him, and that Arsenal were lucky, and then you go on to drop and lose 3-1 to Leeds. Yes, no Caicedo. Yes, no Reece James, but still disgraceful. The performance against Leeds was honestly one of the worst performances of the season for Chelsea. And this is the thing with Chelsea. The big games, no one can deny how good they are. The big games, Enzo Maresca have done very well, but it's the smaller games that I can't trust Chelsea. That's the reason why I said a couple of weeks ago, I don't think Chelsea will continue and compete with Arsenal to the end of game week 30. I don't, because I can't trust them, and I don't see them winning every single game. I don't. Of course, this game, Fofana's back, Chalobah's back, so no Tosin, who was the biggest scapegoat of that game, even though the lap, by the way, the lap wasn't great either. So a lot of people are good on Tosin, but the lap was just bad himself as well. Bournemouth is as bad as Chelsea, or maybe even worse. Like the last 4-5 games they haven't won, it's been very bad for Bournemouth. Very bad. I don't know what happened. I don't know if fatigue, because it's the same 11. I don't know if it's the other teams understanding how they play. I don't know what it is. I honestly, I wish I had an answer. I don't know what it is. I do think because of the fact that Cole Palmer might get more minutes this game, and the fact that Fofana and Chalobah's back defensively, which means Chelsea a bit secure, and the fact that Reece James is back as well, I do think that will help Chelsea. Hence the reason why I went with a big scoreline. I think Chelsea will win this game. I predicted 4-2 Chelsea. Hasib predicted 2-1. Hussein predicted 2-1 Chelsea, and Shaib predicted 3-1 Chelsea. Then we've got Everton versus Forest. Everton picked up a massive win away from home after beating, of course, United as well. But I picked a massive win away from home to Bournemouth. Forest, similar, won against Wolves as well. They've done well. They're part of that little mid-table where one win can take them all the way through to top 6, top 4. And I think, honestly speaking, Forest, I think they will look at on Thursday. They've got Conference League and then, for Europa League, and I think they might rest players for that. Hence the reason why I still think Forest will win. Everton somehow at home they don't play well, and I've realised it. Away from home, they way better than at home. Like at home, I see them losing random games. I see them drawing random games. But away from home, they are way more reliable for some reason. Like, it's a bit weird. I expected them to be the other way around. But anyway, I think Forest won this game. Hasib predicted 2-0. Shaib predicted 2-1. And Hussein predicted a 1-1 draw. Then Man City versus Sunderland. And this is the game that City must win. Because you never know. If Arsenal drop a point against Aston Villa, if they draw, if they lose, they could potentially be 3 points behind or 2 points behind. Hence the reason why this game is massive for Man City. It can't be another Leeds where you're 2-0 up and they come back. It can't be another Fulham where you're 5-1 up and they come back 5-4. It can't be that game. And I made a video a couple of days ago basically saying I genuinely don't understand. I don't get this Man City team. I don't know if they're that great, or I don't know if they are just I don't know. And Man City fans, they put down in the comment section how they felt about their team, and most of them were very confused. Most of them were saying defensively were not that great, and all of them basically shared their frustrations with their team. But Sunderland has been amazing. Sunderland has been great. Of course, 5th in the league, winning games that they shouldn't be winning, picking up points. They were very unlucky not to beat Liverpool at Anfield. But I think away to City, I think City will win this game. I do think City will win. Hence the reason why all of us predicted Man City to win, and Hussein has used his double points, saying that 2-1 to Man City. Then it's Newcastle versus Burnley. Burnley, I think, is on a 5-game or 6-game losing streak. Newcastle have done well in recent weeks, except for, of course, the last game against Spurs, which they should have won. I can't believe they didn't win. They let Romero score one of the worst bicycles I've seen. It wasn't even powerful. It was so slow, and like players just moved past and just looked at it. Like people were basically ball watching. But I think at home to Burnley, there's no way they'll drop points. I predicted a big 4-0 to Newcastle, and the rest of the boys predicted Newcastle to win as well. Then we have Spurs versus Brentford. Spurs versus Brentford. Thomas Frank, I guess his former team. If he loses against his former team, I think that should be the dagger. I genuinely think if he loses against against Brentford, that's the dagger. Call it a day, sack him on the spot. There is no way you lose to your former club who's hired a set-piece manager. To your former club. No way. If he loses to Brentford, call it a day, sack him. But I don't think it will happen. I think Spurs will win. I think they'll make it difficult for themselves. I think they might go down, maybe 1-0 behind, and then make it come back. But I don't see a world where Brentford will win. And if they do, then, brother, Thomas Frank must get sacked on the same exact moment. Straight after the game, sack him immediately. I'm predicting 3-2 Spurs. And Hasib and Hussein predicted Brentford to win 2-1. And Shaib has used his double points in predicting a 2-2 draw. Then we've got Leeds versus Liverpool, and a lot of pressure. Similar to Thomas Frank, a lot of pressure on Arne Slot. After the win against West Ham, where people thought Liverpool is back, they go on to perform very badly. Not very badly, but very disappointingly against Sunderland. They managed, of course, it was a 1-1 draw, but they could have lost easy that game if it wasn't for Kaiser saving them towards the end. And now against Leeds, who picked up a massive, massive win against Chelsea. Big, big win against Chelsea because Farke was in a similar position. If he had lost the game against Chelsea, he would have been sacked. So he's now managed to save time. But this is basically a game of who gets sacked first. Who gets sacked first? And I think it will be Farke. I don't think Liverpool will lose this game. I've gone with 3-1 Liverpool. Hussein has predicted Leeds to win 2-1. Hasib is 2-2. And Shoaib predicted 3-2 Liverpool. Then we've got Brighton versus West Ham on Sunday. One of the first kickoffs on Sunday. West Ham is coming into this game with a 1-1 draw against United. Brighton is coming into this game bottling a 2-0 lead against Aston Villa at home and then losing 4-3. Even though the week before that, they beat Forest away from home. So Brighton has had a very hit and miss. West Ham, similar situation where after having a nice little free game a stretch, they lost against Liverpool and drew against United. With this game, I'm predicting Brighton to win 2-0. Hasib went with 2-1 West Ham. Hussein went with 3-1 Brighton. And Shoaib predicted a 1-1 draw. Then we've got Fulham versus Palace. And this game, when I predicted it, and when I saw the rest of the boys give me their scores, because I put my predictions first before I wait for the others, I kind of laughed because everyone went with the same mindset. Everyone went with the same game plan. Bro, why is it that this game screams a draw? Even though Fulham has been, yes, they lost against City, but they were very unlucky. Palace is just weird. Palace is just weird. Like, yes, they beat Burnley last game, but United, they should have won. They lost. Strasbourg, they should have won. They lost. Palace is just, it starts to become that weird team where before you could tell that they wouldn't lose. This game just screams a draw for some reason. Hence the reason why I win with a draw. Hasib went with a draw. Hussein went with a draw. And Shoaib predicted a 1-0 Palace win. And then Man United, last game of game week 15. And after the loss, after of course beating Palace and drawing against West Ham, which is a bad result against West Ham. Very bad, like very, very bad performance against West Ham. Now you're playing the one team who hasn't won this season. They haven't won a single game this season. You play the manager, Rob Edwards, who's on a massive, I think he's been charged for 3 games and he's lost every single one of them. This is the game which you think, on paper, you should win. This is the game which you think you can win. The one thing about United, which I've realised with Ruben Amorim this season, is that the games which you think United can't win, is the games that they actually do well. And the game that you expect United to win is the games that United don't win. Like, I didn't think they'll be Palace, but they won. And I thought they would be Everton and West Ham at home, but they didn't. This is the game which you think United will win. Of course, United against Wolves, who hasn't won a single game this season, who's been very bad. They're getting relegated. You would think they would win. I don't think they will. Bro, I'm putting my cojones on the table. I'm putting my balls on the table and saying Wolves will win. And Wolves will pick up the first 3 points, will pick up the first W. And if they do that, there is no way Ruben can survive another game or another week or another game week or another month or another just whatever. If he lets Wolves beat him, fam, if he is still the manager, then this guy will never get sacked. I might be different. F it. I predicted Wolves to win. I think Wolves will somehow win this game. I don't trust United at all. Hence the reason why I win with 3-1. But the rest of the boys all predicting United to win, and Hasib predicted 2-0 with his double points. Put down in the comment section what you guys think about every single game. Let me know who you are predicting will get the most points for this game week. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with some Premier League match reviews. Peace.